I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, Your Love is Like Bad Medicine. Well, I've got 4 emails that I'm going to go through with you today. Before we get into it, I got a quote that I wrote that I'd like to share with you. And by the way, the inspiration for this song is like, as I was reading these emails, there was a Bon Jovi song that came out, I think it was like late 80s, early 90s. It was called Bad Medicine. And they were singing about a woman that they were involved, or that he was involved with, that just wasn't a good girl for him, but he couldn't help himself anyways. It's kind of like women that date the bad boys. They know that they're not good for them, but they date them anyways. So the quote I want to share says, the main reason why people stay in bad relationships and date people who they know are not good for them is that deep down they feel like they don't deserve or can't attract better. Bad relationships often emotionally feel the same way as a bad relationship with a parent, where the parent did not love them or make them feel loved and special. They actually seek out and get hung up on people who don't treat them very well and take them for granted. Always ask yourself when you start dating someone, is this person good for me? Are they a healthy and balanced influence in my life? Have the strength to let them go when the answer is no. So let's get into this first guy's email. He says, hey coach, me and my ex-girlfriend have been on and off for a few months now, but it's not stayed permanently on. I took your advice on not pushing for a relationship and just telling her to have fun and see what happens. We normally go really good and get on well for a few weeks, and then she'll lie or act in a way to push us back, and she'll cut off contact and not talk things over. Well, that sounds like classic passive-aggressive. And I dated a woman like that years ago, and that's what it'd be like. Things would be going along great, and all of a sudden she'd become fearful or upset, and she just would fuck things up completely. It's like on our very first date, when the first thing she said to me, she looked me right in the eye, those beautiful, pretty eyes of hers, and she said, I fuck all of my relationships up. And at that moment, I was like, it's like it went in one ear and out the other. I was just so into this girl. It just, how could someone so hot and so beautiful and so sexy and so desirable and so charming fuck all of her relationships up? It's like I had no idea what I was in for. But these are the classic signs here. Things will go great. And this woman was very devious, and she knew it. She even said to me one time, this was like years after we had split up, and we were still friends, and we were having lunch one time, and she says, I'm a very devious person. You know how devious I can be. I was like, yep, I found out firsthand. It was a bumpy ride, and I didn't like it. He says, she'll only sometimes bring up issues via Facebook or text, which I hate. And the most recent thing was this. I mean, it's like she obviously doesn't sound like this woman's a very good communicator either, which is the same thing with this other ex-girlfriend of mine. It's like even one of the last times I talked to her years ago, before she ended up getting married, some guy, and she said to me, she says, you know, I'm a bad communicator. I was like, you think? It's like she knows her problems, but she just wasn't willing to do anything about it. And you know, unfortunately, that's kind of the way these women are. He said, we've been hanging out, having fun, and hooking up again for about 2 weeks, and we spent the day together one day, and we had the best time in ages, resulting in her grabbing me to kiss me randomly and have sex together. We were both going out on the town with separate groups of friends, and we were meeting up afterwards and staying at my place. While walking into one of the clubs, I saw her sitting alone, making out with some butt-ugly dude. Oh, that's a fucking buzzkill. You're all excited, like, yeah, we just fucked, we had a great time, I can't wait to see her. And then you show up and she's making out with some fucking random guy. So he says, as I walked past, she tried touching my arm while talking to me, acting as if nothing was wrong. Well, in her eyes, there's nothing wrong with this kind of behavior. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not really together, but it's like, fuck, dude, that's not something you want to see. He says, I was bummed. Literally 2 hours before, she was so affectionate, and I asked her to come outside to ask what was going on, but we argued, and I said some shitty drunken things, so I got slapped. She just sounds like such a great woman, dude. I think every guy should date a woman like this. Not a woman that slaps you, but a woman that's a little bit wacky, because it really makes you appreciate it when you date a girl that's got her shit together and she's respectful and she's loyal and she communicates well, and she's just got a great attitude. She goes along with whatever you want. It's like not all women are like that. And the thing you got to understand is like the whole dating process, the whole purpose of it is to meet somebody, because you're going to meet a lot of women that you find physically attractive and who finds you physically attractive, but you're not going to have chemistry with them. And that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for somebody that has chemistry. Because sometimes you'll hook up with a girl and the sex will be great and it'll be fun, but you just really don't enjoy spending time with her. Or you might have a girl, it's like a hookup, she comes over, you guys have great sex, but other than that, you really don't want to hang out very much together. Chemistry is when you're with somebody and not only are you physically attracted to them, but you really like hanging out with them. You have a ball, you enjoy the same kinds of things, you kind of like the same kinds of things, you have a lot of fun together, you talk well, you communicate well, you complete each other's sentences. That's rare and that's special, and I've just learned in life, those things are divinely arranged. So the way you got to look at it is until you meet somebody where that magic really happens, it's just have fun and learn and get to know yourself. Because like when you date women like this, obviously you can have a lot of fun with a girl like this, but she's not a good girlfriend type material. I mean, she's a liar. You can't fix that. You know, she's been lying since she was a little girl. She was obviously taught that way. She probably learned it from her family. And that's the way she is. You can't do anything about it other than hang out, have fun, and hook up with her. And she's a great sex playmate, great friends with benefits, but she's not the kind of girl you want to take home to mom. He says, she said that they were making... Oh, listen to this. This just gets better. He says, she said they were making out because he paid for her entrance fee. Oh, well, he paid for me to get in the club, so I'm going to make out with him. Well, that's a fucking good reason. And that she had sex with me because I bought her food. This is awesome. What a great catch you got here. He says, so I basically implied that she was a prostitute. Bad move. I mean, well, kind of in a way, it's like, hey, this guy paid for my way, so I made out with him. You bought me dinner, so I fucked you. I mean, it's like, come on. We'll fuck for food. You know, just hold one of those signs up. You ever see the dudes on the side of the road says, we'll work for food? She's got an invisible one around her neck that says, we'll fuck for food. I'll kiss for my admission fee to a club. Pay my cover charge and you'll get a little lip action from me. He says, we got home, we did have sex, but after I saw her a few days later, she totally cut off contact again. It's just, women like this is just kind of the way their lives are. They don't know anything emotionally different than having drama and things being fucked up, because she probably saw her parents or maybe her mother going through this kind of shit with all the random boyfriends that she had over the years, and so this is what she learned. This is what she picked up. And this is the way she is. She's a little wacky. You can't fix that. He says, so I hung out, had fun, and hooked up with other girls who were at my university. We've started talking now, but I always walk on eggshells with her moods and never know when she's being genuine. Her parents are always needing to know where and who she's with, but she's bullshitted them about me in the past to get herself out of trouble because they don't exactly like me and my influence on her. She goes to counseling, self-harms, and can be pretty spiteful, but I love her and she's amazing when she ignores her outside influences. Am I insane or is she? I think both of you are fucking whacked out of your minds. It's like, come on, man. This girl she's just bad news. I mean, a woman who's cutting herself or harming herself, that's fucked up. It's like, let her go get fixed. Let her go get the counseling. But with this kind of woman, if the sex is really that great and you want to hang out with her, you got to understand, it's like you can't get attached to a woman like this. You'll never have a great relationship with her. Because, you know, the elevator doesn't go all the way up to the top floor, dude. It's like, I'm sorry to tell you that. It's like, the lights are on, but nobody is home. So it's just like, when she gets in touch with you, hey, babe, great to see you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Invite her over to your place. Don't take her out. Fuck all that shit. Just have her come over, have great, crazy fucking sex. Because it's like this other girl I was telling you about. Sex was fucking amazing with her. She was a very sexual person. She loved having sex. And she loved men. She loves to flirt. And I feel bad for her. I wouldn't want to be your husband, because it's like, if he's away on a trip and he gets pissed off at her or snaps at her, she'll be flirting with the next door neighbor or one of her guy friends, it's like you don't want to be sleeping with one eye open the rest of your life. So it's like, take it for what it is. She's just not really a good person to be involved with other than just a great sex playmate. And other than that, you know what you got, because she's going to hook up with other guys. Loyalty doesn't mean anything. Being faithful doesn't mean jack shit to her. So let's get on to the second guy's email. He says, so I have an issue where I was dumped by my ex, and the last thing I did towards her was yell at her because I was upset, and she tried to explain why she cheated. A cheater is always going to be a cheater. It's like if loyalty doesn't mean anything and she cheats on you once, guess what? She'll do it again. And how's the old saying go? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He says, and she told me she was done and not to text her, and she blocked me off of all social networks. Well, it sounds like she actually did you a favor. He says, as I look back on our relationship, it was my fault that triggered a chain effect that led to her cheating. But at the end of the day, the loyalty didn't mean anything to her. Instead of communicating with you like a mature adult and seeking to rectify the situation, she didn't do that. She just went out and found another guy to fuck. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's how women like this operate. You can't fix that. He says, this girl really loved me and I didn't give my heart to her. I've learned my mistake and I'm now chasing her back. Well, that's not going to get you anywhere. Because like when you go running after her like this, you're basically communicating, hey, it's okay to shit all over me and it's okay to walk all over me and treat me like dirt because I'm gonna keep coming back for more. Thank you. May I have another, please? He says it's been 2 months of no contact so far, and the problem is also that we're long distance from each other. She's away for college and coming back in December, but she has a birthday coming up. Should I ask her friends to help me send a gift that I told her I was going to buy for her but never got to it? Come on, man. All you're trying to do is bribe her with gifts for sex and to get in touch with you. It's like, that's not going to get you anywhere, dude. Or should I just wait till she contacts me and give it to her then? You shouldn't buy her any fucking gifts. Save your money, dude. Save your money so you can take out a really cool chick that's got her shit together instead of throwing your money after a chick that she's not good for you. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you want to hook up with her, let her get in touch with you. Hey, babe, great to hear from you. Oh, it's awesome that you're home for the holidays. We should get together. Why don't you grab a bottle of wine, come on over to my place. We'll make dinner together. Hang out, have fun, and hook up, and leave it at that. I wouldn't do anything more than that with this particular woman. He says, I don't want her to receive the present and make her remember all the bad in our relationship, especially on her birthday. What you're doing, I can tell, you're just looking for a reason to get in touch with her. You're looking for a reason to bullshit yourself into continuing to chase this girl, and that's just not going to work. She blocked you on social networks for a reason. So what you should be doing is applying the things I teach in my book so you can meet some new women and get some new options. And meet a girl that's got her shit together and she'll be nice to you and she won't cheat on you and she won't lie to you and she won't deceive you. It's just not worth it to be involved with chicks like this. Moving on to the third email I got here. This guy says, hey Corey, how are you? I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking, by the way. He says, I love your videos and articles. And I met this girl. She's a colleague of one of my best friends, and I instantly felt really attracted to her. I used to go and see my friend at work every weekend, so I got to see her as well. He says, we never really talked to each other, and she's a very shy person, and I'm an introvert. A few months after that, I heard that she was leaving for another country for a few months, so I gathered all my guts and went to talk to her. Good for you, dude. You grew a set. Your balls finally dropped. That's awesome. He says, I asked her if we could go out sometime. It's kind of a weak way to go about it. It's like, hey, we should meet up for a drink sometime. I want to see you. When are you free to get together? That's the way to go about it. Instead of like, do you think you might like to go out with me sometime? That doesn't express much confidence. He says, and so her response was, I got the maybe and we'll see, which that means, nope. Survey says, denied. He says, but I kind of felt that she was getting closer physically, so I changed the topic, and after a few minutes asked for her phone number. She gave it to me, and we started texting every day for like 2 or 3 hours every evening. Oh, that's a bad way to go. So you just moved right into, this is typical nice guy behavior. Oh, let me be her friend. And once she gets to know me, she'll really like me then. So you became her therapist and her emotional tampon while she fucks some other guy who acts like a man. He says, I told her after about my feelings for her. It's like, she knows you liked her, dude, because you asked her out. And then she said maybe or we'll see, which means no. And I would have said, well, let me know if you change your mind. If you see this girl all the time, that's all you can say to her. He says, I told her about my feelings after a week and then asked her out. And then she said no and told me that it wasn't a good time for her and that she didn't want a long-distance relationship. But I insisted, so she said that she has feelings for someone else. It's like, notice how this guy is paying no attention to the fact that he wants nothing, or she wants nothing to do with him, basically. She keeps saying no, and it's like, she's told you no like 6 or 7 different ways, but you keep insisting. It's like, you've seen too many movies, dude. He says, I insisted, so she said that she has feelings for someone else, and added that she liked our discussion and wanted to talk more. In other words, I really like having you as my emotional tampon and my little bitch, so this is what I want out of you. I want you to be my emotional outlet while I fuck some other guy. And you went, okay. He says, I said no, and I don't want to be your male friend. Wow, good job. Obviously you've been paying attention. Partly. He says, I reached out to her the day after. Dude, you told her you didn't want to be your gay friend. And then you call her the next day, and what do? You act like the gay friend again. It's like, when you say that, it's like, hey, I'm not interested now, but if it doesn't work out with that other dude, let me know, because I'd love to meet you out for some drinks. I'm not interested in being your friend. I can't do this. But it's like, you act like the gay friend for like hours and hours for a couple of weeks, then you ask her out, and she says no, and you're like, sorry. And then you go right back to being the gay friend. It's like, I'm going to put my foot down. It's kind of like the guy that calls and says, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm not going to call you anymore. And then he calls her a week later. I just wanted to, I'm calling you to remind you that I'm not going to call you anymore and I'm going to make any more effort in this relationship. Okay. So he says, I reached out to her the day after and we started talking again, and she told me about a guy for whom she had feelings, but sounded like a lie, especially when she said, don't worry about him. Yeah, that's just the guy I'm fucking. That's what she means by that. He says, we were talking about a lot of things, and she was sometimes talking like a girlfriend or even more. Dude, you are totally fucking bullshitting yourself here. It's like you are so projecting a fantasy onto this girl, and you're like ignoring everything. It's like, whatever the drugs are that you're on, dude, send me some. They must be really fucking good. It's like, put the fucking crack pipe down, dude. He says, but after that, I started acting weak and needy. It's like, started acting weak and needy, even acting that way from the get-go. He says, when she left, I texted her every day, and I thought it was a good thing to do. Come on, man. He says, 3 days after that, she told me that she's back with him and that she doesn't see any future for us. And, in big letters, stop texting me. Stop stalking me. Stop acting like a creep who's seen too many movies and TV shows that show that this shit works. He says, I'm doing my best with other girls, and she knows that I'm popular, especially with her colleagues. What shall I do now? Dude, you've done enough. You got to let it go. This is not a healthy situation here. It's like you're pursuing this girl, wanting her to love you, but at the end of the day, she's fucking somebody else. She's not interested. If she was interested, she would have said yes the first time you asked her out. That's just the way it is, my man. So let's get into the fourth and final email. This guy says, hey Corey, my girl of 4 years recently ended our relationship, and a week after we promised to work on our issues, mainly my ambitious work schedule and attending to my 3 kids from a previous marriage, which left her feeling low on my list of priorities. I told her how I felt and that I wanted to work on things and be together, then I walked away. I am prepared to never initiate contact again. Let me read that again. He said, and then listen to what he says right after in the very next sentence. I am prepared to never initiate contact ever again. My question is it wise to ignore special events that occur during this no contact period, such as sweetest day? I don't know what sweetest day is. Or would it be wise to send a token of flowers or a card, then resume no contact? Well, how is sending flowers and a card no contact? It's like, come on, man. It's like you're totally bullshitting yourself. It's like, I'm not going to contact her anymore, but hey, I want to send her some flowers. That doesn't count, right? It's like, that's a bribe for sex. That's basically you're trying to bribe her or gift her into talking to you again. It's like you're trying to guilt her and reaching out to you because you think some conversation on the phone or through text or email is going to magically make her go, oh, let me give this another shot. Because at the end of the day, she dumped you. This is 4 years. She kicked your butt to the curb. Like, whatever the reasons are, I don't know. You didn't really go into it. But she says, I'm out of here. She unilaterally changed the terms of your relationship. So it's like, what's the point of chasing her? You just say, hey, well, I'm not interested in this breakup, but if that's what you want, then so be it. It takes two to make a relationship work. If you're telling me you're not wanting to work on it anymore, then great. You know, I wish you all the best. Take care. If you change your mind, you know how to get in touch with me. I'd love to pick up where we left off. And that's it. You walk and never look back. That means no contact. That means she is now a part of your past. That means you're investing zero energy. She left. She liked you so much she didn't want to be your girlfriend anymore. I mean, that's the bottom line. She's fucking out of there. So you chasing her, trying to bribe her with gifts, that's not no contact. No contact means you're walking away and you're never looking back. Never looking back means never looking back. It doesn't mean getting 10 steps and going, hey, let me send her something. Maybe she'll reach out to me now because it's been a few days. It's like, come on, man. Seriously. That's all you can do is move on. I would highly encourage you to download the Kindle version of my ebook because you can sync that across all of your devices. Plus, you got to learn the baseline knowledge. And if for those of you that want an audio version of the book, the great thing about the Kindle apps, which the Kindle apps are free, they got them for every electronic device, is it'll actually read the book to you through. You can sync it to your car stereo, and you can hear a nice, sexy woman's voice reading my book to you if you like to hear an audio version. But you got to bury yourself in my book and get to know it so well you don't have to think about it anymore because it's like when you continue to pursue someone like this, you're just basically communicating that I'm not worthy, I don't deserve to be treated well, and all she's going to do is put you in friendship zone when you continue to chase after somebody who bails out on you and who doesn't want to work on your relationship anymore. So if you'd like to get my help personally with a situation like this, or you want to figure out what your purpose is, or you want to change careers, or you're having problems in your business, or you want to lose weight, you want to get in great shape, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.